to the show. I'm your host today, Charlie, and we are diving deep into one of the most staggering cases of white-collar crime in our nation's history, the Sabah Water Department's on JANS corruption scandals.
Negeri Sabah
Department Director Awang Muhammad,
bekas pengarah Jabatan Air Negeri Awang Muhammad 184
Director Awang Tahir Awang Talib has been convicted of 12 counts of money laundering involving over 45 million ringgit in one of the Bornean state's largest ever corruption cases.
We are looking at a case where billions meant for public development were diverted into private hands. To help us unpack this massive ghost project and bribery scheme, we have a fantastic panel with us today. Joining me in the studio are our lead investigative journalist and investigation officer from the MACC and anti-corruption lawyer. Let's go around the table for some quick introductions.
Thank you, Charlie. Glad to be here. I'm Suki, an investigative journalist. When the Sabah Water Department scandal was first exposed, the scale of its corruption shook the entire Malaysia. So today, I will reveal the truth, outline the timeline, and expose what exactly happened behind the Malaysia's largest corruption case.
Thank you, Charlie. It's my pleasure here. I'm Zushin, a policy expert and also a practicing anti-corruption lawyer. So my work here is focus on public governance and so procurement integrity and anti-corruption law. So today I'm here to explain why this case was seriously a legal case and also what lessons that we can learn from this.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm honored to be here. My name is Sun Shen and I'm an anti-corruption lawyer and policy expert. The Sabah Water Department scandal involves serious crimes including corruption and money laundering. The former department director, AG Muhammad Tahir Muhammad Talib, and several others were charged under Malaysia's anti-money laundering law. Besides money laundering, the alleged conduct also involved bribery, abuse of power, and manipulation of government procurement. These are offences that fall under the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission (MECC) Act 2009. The MECC Act 2009 makes it illegal for any public officials to accept or give bribes, misuse their position for personal benefit, or abuse public office. If found guilty, offenders may face imprisonment, substantial fines, or even both. In May 2026, the former director was convicted on 12 counts of money laundering, sentenced to 96 years imprisonment, and fined 284.3 million ringgit. Although the prison sentence ran concurrently, meaning he will serve about 8 years, the case sends a strong message that corruption in the public sector will not be tolerated.
Thank you all for being here. Let's jump right in. I would like to start with our journalist for our listener who might need a refresher. What exactly is a JNS scandal? Could you walk through the timeline from 2010 to 2016 and explain why exactly? What happened to the 3.3 million allocation that was supposed to fund water infrastructure?
Let's look at the timeline. It all started between 2010 and 2016. The government allocated a budget of 3.3 billion to the Sabah Water Department. This budget actually was used to build clean water infrastructure for the Sabah people. However, the top manager completely abused their power. To bypass government rules and avoid open bidding, they intentionally broke large projects into many small contracts. This allowed them to approve all these projects internally without any external check. They gave these contracts directly to 38 companies owned by their family members and relatives. In return, this constructor paid millions in kickbacks to the director. Everything stopped in October 2016. The MACC raided the director office and homes. They found around 44 million in cash stuff everywhere, and also include luxury cars and jewelry. Finally, after a long legal battle from 2017 to 2026, the court gave the final judgment on 19th of May 2026. The director, Awang Muhammad Tahir, lost the case. The court fined him 284 million ringgit and need to sentence to 96 years in jail. However, since the sentence ran concurrently, in reality, he only served about 8 years in jail.
It is absolutely shocking how the open bidding process was completely bypassed. Turning to our MACC investigation officer now, the raid in October 2016 really broke the case wide open for the public. Could you tell us how the MACC approached this investigation and detail the sheer scale of the evidence found during the raids?
Okay, thank you for the question, Charlene. From a legal perspective, the Sabah Water Department scandal is a clear example of like what can happen when an individual abuses his power and also responsibility extended to them. So, public officials are given those power to manage government resources, but their authority need to keep in mind is that to act in public interest only. So, for this case, is that the former Sabah Water Department Director, Awang Muhammad Talib, was convicted under the law of Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001, or we can call it as AMLA. So in simple terms, the law allows the authorities to take action against individuals who attempt to hide, transfer, and also use the money obtained through illegal activities. So this case also involved offences under Malaysia Anti-Corruption Law, Commission Act of 2009. So this act makes it illegal for individuals, especially like public officials, to accept or give gratification, misuse their position for personal benefits. However, one of the biggest concerns is that in this case, one interesting perspective is on the conflict of interest. So when officials involved in like approving government contracts have personal connection with the companies receiving those contracts, it can create like a doubts of whether the decisions were made fairly. So public procurement should not only focus on paperwork, whether its paperwork is complete, also whether people making the decision are acting independently and without personal interest.
Millions of ringgit hidden in couches and car trucks. It's not really like a movie, but it was our reality. Let's bring in our anti-corruption lawyer. Given the mountain of evidence, what were the specific legal charges brought against the directors? Also, how do the framework of the MACC Act 2009 and the Anti-Money Laundering Law handle this level of systematic corruption?
Thank you, Charlie. I'm honored to be here. The Sabah Water Department scandal involves serious crimes, including corruption and money laundering. The former department director, AG Muhammad Talib, and several others were charged under Malaysia's Anti-Money Laundering Law. Besides money laundering, the alleged conduct also involved bribery, abuse of power, and manipulation of government procurement. These are offences that fall under the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Act 2009. The MACC Act 2009 makes it illegal for any public officials to accept or give bribes, misuse their position for personal benefits, or abuse public office. If they are found guilty, offenders may face imprisonment and substantial fines or even both. In May 2006, the former director was convicted on 12 counts of money laundering, sentenced to 96 years imprisonment, and fined RM 284.3 million. Although the prison sentence ran concurrently, meaning he will serve for about 8 years, the case sends a strong message that corruption in the public sector will not be tolerated.
The recent 96-year sentence certainly sends a strong message, but beyond the courtroom, there are real people dealing with the fallout. I want to open this next question to all our guests. What were the direct effects of these delay and poor quality projects on the Sabah villagers who desperately rely on this water supply, and what solution or preventive measure must we implement to stop this from happening again?
Let's look at the critical issue of poor project quality and delays. Because they only gave the job to their own people, they couldn't select a qualified contractor. As a result, the project was delayed, poorly built, and over budget. So even though the government spent billions, many local communities in Sabah are still facing the water shortage and dry tax every single day.
Okay, thank you. I agree with the points raised by other guests. From a legal and public interest perspective, the biggest victims of corruption, from my perspective, is obviously the ordinary citizens. So the funds involved in this case were meant to improve water infrastructures for communities in Sabah. But since the public money is misused, the impact goes beyond the financial losses because citizens are the one who ultimately suffer from delayed project and also reduced quality of public services. So if you think about it, each ringgit is corrupted, it's equals to each ringgit that can be used to improve the public services. So to prevent these similar cases from happening again, my first recommendation is to strengthen the conflict of interest checks in government procurement. So officials involved in approving contracts, so I think that they should declare any personal or family financial relationships with companies involved in government projects. So this declaration should also verify true ownership, checks their identity, who actually control the companies, so they can help to prevent situations where contracts are unfairly influenced by personal relationships. And so secondly, I feel Malaysia should also improve the use of digital procurement monitoring systems. So instead of mere paperwork, I feel through digital-wise, it can help to identify suspicious patterns or repeated contracts awarded to the companies and contracts being divided into smaller amounts to avoid proper review. So detecting these warning signs can prevent corruption from going into a larger problem.
I agree with the points shared by the other guests. This case clearly shows that the effect of corruption goes far beyond financial losses. It also reduces public confidence in the government and delays important services that people depend on. To prevent this from happening again, the government should focus on stopping corruption before it happens, rather than only punishing offenders after the damage is done. Procurement process should be more transparent by using digital e-procurement system, regular independent audits, and closer monitoring of high-value government projects. This measure can help detect suspicious activities early and reduce opportunities for corruption. In addition, public officials should be required to declare any conflicts of interest to ensure that procurement decisions are fair and free from personal influence. Whistleblowers should be also protected through safe and confidential reporting channels so they can report corruption without fear of threats of unfair treatment. Most importantly, every public official should remember that they are trusted to serve the people, not to use public resources for personal benefits. By practicing integrity, accountability, and transparency, and by strengthening both governance and enforcement, you can build a government that people can trust and ensure that public funds are used for the benefits of all Malaysians.
Those are excellent final recommendations. This case is a harsh reminder that corruption isn't a victimless crime. It's directly drains public funds, destroys projects' quality, and shatters the public trust in our institution. Moving forward, strict oversight, independent audits, and protected whistleblowing channels aren't just optional, and they are essential. A massive thank you to our journalists, our MACC officer, and our lawyer for their insights today. And thank you, listener,